An image is a moment in time, frozen for, however long we're keeping it to a certain point, but it can be an eternity. And true, the way we capture photography and the way the human vision system processes the information is exactly the same thing. It's light falling on an object, and we capture that signal at the end. But the one interesting thing about the image always was that what we thought we perceived is actually relatively far away from the physics of the original scene. It's a flux of information, and consciously we just capture a few things, but we capture images too. Versus a camera, who is a pure physical device, captures everything, and then it's up to us doing the research in there to actually extract the meaningful information that we actually perceived. The big paradigm shift in machine learning and whatever was done before was that the number of parameters used to actually, analyze or reconstruct or manipulate the images exploded. Now we're talking about millions of parameters that are in these models that we can optimize to actually create something. Every handcrafted methods we had before had, tens, hundreds, or thousands of parameters. And so considering we also have a million pixels in our images, these million parameters actually help much better in doing things. So we became much more accurate in actually identifying the patterns in the images. That can be object recognition, semantic segmentation, you name it. And that has an advantage. Especially in machine vision system, especially, let's say, in medical imaging, we can now, almost better than humans, find cancerous cells, identify if there's a problem. But that benefit can also be abused. So if we're better in actually recognizing things, well, then we're also better in recognizing you walking through the streets. So I can follow your life everywhere, right? There is, for everything that gets much better, a side that is beneficial to us and a side can be abused. And it's actually on us. It's not a question of the technology. Technology is not good or bad. It's on us to actually put the regulation that it's only used for good and not for bad. But it's a societal issue, and society, though, better wakes up and listens to it and actually does something about it. There's also another component to it, and that's not pattern recognition that we can do with artificial intelligence, but that's now the creation of photorealistic imagery that we can do with these machine learning techniques, specifically GANs. And it's amazing how it just evolved. And it is today extremely good and photorealistic and will get even better. And again, it has certain advantages, right? It has certain advantages to create images that never existed. For example, actually in this training of other kind of machine learning system, it has certain advantages that we can take a bad image, but let's say we care about this image, we can make it better, we can hallucinate information, and that's actually the thing, but we can also hallucinate too much information. But it's not per se a bad thing that we're creating fake things. It can actually be helpful. So in the pattern recognition, it can be used in everything from analyzing the script to analyzing the film to predicting what type of actor basically fits a role like this, for predicting how much money it will make, for which age group it is. All this is all possible. But it's pattern recognition. It doesn't tell you do this. It's not an artistic tool. And this is being done all the time. And look at these Netflix series, right? They know exactly their audiences, and they create these series for a specific kind of audience. It does save time to a certain point, but it still lets you be creative because it just tells you this is the pattern. And almost everything we do has a pattern. Now for the creation of films. But I do know that it has been used quite a bit in the restoration of films. There are things like high dynamic range rendering, super resolution. So in more of the processing actually of the data. What it can also be used in the future, we talked about the fakes, right? You can absolutely create fakes. You can also create 3D scenes that are fake. That's called neural rendering. You can basically recreate whole scenes based on a picture of a scene. It will take a while until the technology is good enough that it's really going to be used by every filmmaker. As of today, we don't really have artificial intelligence in the sense of how we as humans define intelligence. However, we have extremely performant systems who can do many tasks if they learn these tasks, and now we can even self-learn some of the tasks extremely well. But at the end, you don't have to let the system make the decision. It's still your choice to make the decision. And when you're applying these systems, let them show you what they learn. Let them show you the patterns you don't want to see. Let them actually extract the best scenes of a film if you don't want to watch it for 2 hours. I mean, these things can all happen, but it's your decision at the end what you're going to do with it, how you're going to use it. One of the things that really does excite me is actually the possibilities that can be done. The endless possibility of creating good imagery. And my dream would be to actually create my own personal camera. And my own personal camera is personal, so I wouldn't be hooked up to any one of these big technology companies. It would be my own personal camera, and I would be walking around, and, it would actually take a picture because I know that I would like this picture, right? So I don't even have to fumble in my pockets and take out my mobile phone because I actually see it and will just take the picture in itself. And it would actually exactly know what I want, right? It would actually not just take the picture, but actually also delete all the pictures I don't want. It'll make my life easier.